I'm Jordan Boyd Graber, and I'm discussing Trick Me If You Can, human-computer authoring of adversarial question-answering examples, where humans and machines work together to craft really challenging questions, and then those questions become the playing field for competitions between humans and computers to see who is truly best at trivia and question answering. In previous videos, we talked about the process for generating difficult questions that computers struggle with. In other words, how the trivia community can help machine learning researchers do a better job of understanding human language and answering questions. This video is going to talk about the other direction, how machine learning specifically and computer science generally can help the trivia community create fun, interesting, and exciting questions. Our previous work created an online platform where people could play Quiz Bowl online. They could practice, see a bunch of questions, and see their skill stacked up against other players. We used this to understand how humans played the game of Quiz Bowl. It was quickly copied and bootlegged by other computer programmers to create sites like Proto Bowl. And love it or hate it, Proto Bowl is omnipresent in the Quiz Bowl community. And it has helped us create systems that can compete really well against humans and to know exactly when humans buzz on questions.
There are a lot of high schoolers that go on there and play.
Yeah, well, they also play the same questions over and over again, so...
And then they start to notice, they
just know.
Similarly, we're hoping that the tools that we use to create trivia questions can be generally helpful to the trivia community, while our goal is to get computers to answer really difficult clues that they haven't seen before. We're hoping that a pleasant, mutually beneficial side effect is that the trivia community will start writing questions that humans haven't seen before either. We hope that this will be more fun for human trivia players because the clues will be novel, exciting, and less filled with stock clues.
I was going to see that. There were some things that were clues that I wrote that I didn't think were stock clues, but then were later revealed to me to be pretty stock.
I see.
So that was sort of interesting, right? I think I wrote a toss-up about the Congress of Vienna,
Mm-hmm.
and it included, I think the lead-in was about the resolution to the dispute over Poland was settled by Krakow becoming a free city or something like that.
I see.
And apparently that's a fairly stock
I see.
clue for Congress of Vienna.
It makes it really easy to find all the ways in which not just the topic you're asking about have come up, but also to see the clues, right? Because you can see the questions and, it does a good job highlighting the words you're using and showing you where the clues actually are, in older questions. So
Slight adaptations of our system can detect a difficulty cliff. In other words, where the question suddenly goes from really hard to really easy. When that happens, everyone in the room knows the answer and they're slamming down on their buzzer to try to answer the question. That isn't good Quiz Bowl. That's a buzzer race. It's a test of reflexes. That makes it a game of finger speed rather than knowledge. We can build specific computer question answering systems that mimic or model different levels of play. We can have a system that has read all of Wikipedia, has read every Quiz Bowl question that has ever been asked, and that can be an expert system. We can create another system, an intermediate system, that has read every high school Quiz Bowl question. And we can also have a beginner system that has read the final sentence, the easiest part of every high school Quiz Bowl question. If all three of these systems suddenly go from being really confused about what the answer is to knowing it with 100% certainty on the same phrase within a question, that is a way of highlighting that there has been a difficulty cliff in your question. And we've already seen the first inklings of this. In this tournament, people used our system to help gauge whether the clues that they were using were well known or not. If they appeared in Wikipedia and in many different questions, they're likely going to be easier. So they used our interface to help figure out what was hard and what was easy, not just for the computer, but also for the human.
I would write a toss-up in a document, and then I would paste it in, and then I would sort of just play with the order of clues to see what gave Quanta the most trouble.
We think these systems will be particularly useful for lower level play. While it's really easy for anyone to write a difficult question on Knut Hamsun, it's really difficult to craft a difficult question for American high school students on George Washington, the first American president. Our question writing interface, or things like it, can help discover where you're using novel clues and where you're using clues that have been used 1,000 times before. These systems can also discover when you have questions that are too similar. While existing packetizers can detect repeats, exact duplicates of questions, or detect where you've used the answer before in a packet set, it can't detect things like you have too many questions from the 19th century. You have too many questions that are talking about German literature, German history, and what have you. That can lead to an unbalanced packet. But because these computer systems have to create a real valued vector representation of every question that represents what the question is about, you can detect when packets are unbalanced in terms of difficulty or in terms of content matter. We're hoping that this can be like Proto Bowl, where somebody took our idea and ran with it, turned it into something fun and useful for the entire Quiz Bowl community. While many of us have been involved in the Quiz Bowl community in the past, we're not deeply entrenched in the current Quiz Bowl community to create the most useful tools. So we're really looking for people who can take some of the ideas here and run with it, turn it into useful tools for the Quiz Bowl community specifically, or the trivia community more broadly. So if you want to take our code, our data, our resources, please do. It's available for free on the web under a very permissive licensing scheme. All that we ask is that the questions that get generated by this process go back into the public domain so that, just like previous generations of high school students and college students have played on old packets to get better, computers can play on these new packets that are challenging for both humans and machines to learn how to process English language better and to connect pieces of information and to do the same kinds of astounding feats of inference and understanding that humans do when they play games like Quiz Bowl. This has been part of our series on human-computer question answering competitions, where we pit human teams against computer teams to see who's smarter. We help you get in on the fun by creating your own systems or participating in these events, and explaining what's going on from both the human perspective and the computer's perspective. You can find more by clicking on the links or by going to quanta.org, where Quanta stands for Question Answering is Not a Trivial Activity.